Mike here with the Elevator Consultants. We're on site at a residential property. We're north of Chicago today. We're on site to survey these two elevators to put these out to Modernization. So we've got all original Dover equipment in here. These are Dover T4s. These were installed in 1998. Dover GD1 gear traction machines. For those of you that haven't seen our earlier videos, easy way to spot the difference between geared machines and gearless machines, which are the two most common types that you'll run into. Geared machines will have a motor sticking out like this, and it's always going to have a bell housing, which is going to be that round part up on top. So these are the geared. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe I could shine a light in there. So you can see the gears actually going by. When it slows down, you'll be able to see the teeth of it. There they go. But really, those are the major differences between them. Here's our governor systems down here. These elevators are rated at 350 feet per minute. Our traction cables, we got 5, it looks like 5/8 inch. Don't look like they're in excellent condition, but they don't look like they're in bad condition. We're kind of right in the middle. Open up the controller cabinet so you can see what's inside. So Dover Elevator was acquired initially by Thyssen, then it really merged into ThyssenKrupp, if I'm saying that correctly, for the merger. And then Dover eventually got phased out. So really this controller turned into the Thyssen TAC 50. Then it went to the ThyssenKrupp TAC 5004. I think the TAC 50 is only around for a couple of years, so it won't really common. And then the controllers changed from that point. On the back side here, we've got our controller drive cabinets. So up here, these white cylinders up here, we call those resistors. And down here, this is our drive. Got more resistors down here in the bottom. Right next to it, we've got an isolation transformer. So when this elevator gets modernized, all this equipment's going to go. So controller is going to get replaced. We'll have different isolation transformers. I believe this is 8 or 9 stops. I was talking with the building engineer up on the way up. I wasn't really paying attention how many stops there were, but we're going to go take a look at it. So we may stay geared with this. We may give the option to go gearless. We're kind of right on the edge of taking advantage of a gearless traction machine. But like I said, these are 350 feet per minute. At 8 or 9 stops, we're probably not going to get any increased speed out of them, but we'll measure the overhead and the pit depth, which are really the two major limiting factors for how fast an elevator can go. So we may put an alternate in a bid for it. So our disconnects up here on the wall, those are going to get replaced. Smoke detectors up here, all going to get replaced. We have sprinkler systems in the machine room. We're going to check and see if these are inside the hoistway. You can see our sprinkler heads here. Obviously we got our lighting up here, which is all going to get replaced. Back here, we do have climate control in the machine room. It is working. It is actually pretty comfy in here. I really don't want to go back outside. The wind's blowing like crazy, and it's probably close to 0 out this morning. So that's what we have up here in the machine room. Okay, so here's our pit equipment. Trying to listen if anybody stepped in the elevator. I don't believe they did. Roller guide assemblies. You can see how close these elevators are together inside the hoistway. But they do consider this a shared hoistway, obviously. Down here we got our tail shift for a governor. That's going to get replaced. Do have pit ladders in here and stop switches. Elevator just took off. We do have 2 traveling cables. We are going to replace the existing traveling cables with 2 new ones. We do have a sump pump in the pit. We do have sprinklers down here in the pit. I got to go back and verify if we do have sprinklers in the overhead. Over here, that's our counterweight guard. Oil buffers here. And on the other side, above our roller guide assemblies, which are going to be replaced, we've got our safeties. And then this big I-beam here on the bottom, that's our sling. And then above it, that's going to be our platform. And really, that's what you're walking on. So we're going to verify and see which doors are front opening, which ones are rear opening. So we can see that's our rear opening at ground level. Right now we're at the basement, which is our lowest landing. And take a look here inside the pit. Okay, we're at the top landing for both of these elevators. I've already taken a look at car 2. Car 1, I just sent down 1 floor. Got the hoistway door open. Get some additional light in here. So far everything has been all original Dover, including the door operators. Given away by our typical Dover blue. So we do have front and rear entrances here. I believe this is going to be the rear side, but we're going to look inside the car operating panel. See our other door operator up there on the front side. Up here in our overhead, we did take measurements up here, just rough estimates to see what we can do. So the blue beams that you see going across, there's 3 of them. It's about 15.5 feet from where my feet are at right now, which is at the top landing door sill to those beams. And that's our deflector shiv in the hoistway, and it's roughly 14.5 feet to that. So we would gain additional room if we can move that deflector shiv up into the machine room. So if we do want to increase speeds, that is a possibility. All original hoistway door equipment. These doors are considered non-integral. So you can see right here, that's going to be our track. Our blue bar here that goes vertical, that's our hanger. And you can see that bolts into the top of the door. So that's what we consider non-integral. They do make integral hangers, which are all together. So really the door panel, the hanger, that's all one piece. We do have spirators. And the super positive side is we do have angles. I gotta cut this car loose. Somebody actually did step inside. So we're certainly gonna want to retain that. Angles, arguably the best restrictors ever made. You set them, you forget them, that's it. Up here, looking at fixtures. So now hall lanterns are position indicators. Our hall risers, which is going to be where this button is at. We call that flush mount. Really everything is recessed into the wall. They do make surface mount. I suppose there's a time and a place for it, but in my opinion, they just do not look nice compared to whatever else is on the market. Cab interiors, car lanterns. We're probably going to upgrade these to vandal resistant. These are just plastic. You can see I kind of push those in. Our cab interior, looking at our sills, everything looks like it's aluminum. Cab panels, all plastic. Actually, I was wrong on the car operating panel. We were on the front entrance of everything here. Our car operating panel does not identify which ones are the rear entrance. So typically you differentiate front entrance from rear entrance is really based on where the emergency phone is at. So that's typically mounted on the front entrance. So these only have front entrance, front car operating panels. Elevator just parked. So really looking up here inside the transoms, which is going to be this part up here in the center. Nothing up there. Our handrails. These are 2,500 pound cars. Seems like a nicer building. We may want to explore the option of flat handrails just based on the limited room that's inside here. All of our returns, which is going to be this big panel here, all stainless. All that is likely going to get replaced as well. We're probably going to end up doing cabin tiers in here, even though these are in pretty good condition. We're just not sure what the customer would like to do. So if they do want cost-saving options on this, I mean, you really can get anywhere from 15 grand for a cabin interior, and it goes north exponentially. So that can get pretty expensive, but you get something pretty nice for 25,000. So we don't know if they want to spend that money in cabin interiors or get this replaced. Typically on the residence side, when they have an elevator down and a bunch of work is being done to it, and you don't replace the cabin interiors, by the time they get the elevator back, they step inside and this is all they see. They say, well, we spent gobs of money. Everything on the inside looks the same. So we're going to explore that option too.